Our second stage is choosing which parts of this point cloud we want to finalize. So this is a point cloud and we're going to choose which areas do we need. So in most cases, when you scan something, you also pick up certain areas that you don't need. So for example, this table over here, well, apparently that's not something we've been needing. It's just sort of came along with the part that we've scanned. And we have to mark areas that we're going to need and which we're going to finalize. So to do this, you need to activate priority mode over here. And you can see that this data, all these points are marked with this golden orange color. That means that all these points are important. This is the default state. So by default, all the points are important. If that's really the case, so if you're scanning, let's say, part of a car, the side of a car or something, and all points are really important, well, you don't have to mark anything as needless. But in this case, when you have a table or a floor or some other parts that you don't want to finalize, it is really useful to mark parts that you don't need. So it's usually possible to find a good angle where you can see the object more or less clearly, like that, for example. And I'm going to use polygonal tool in this case because there is this like flat table surface and it's really convenient. And I'm just going to select this area that we need, the object itself. I'm going to check if I didn't pick up any parts of a table. Nope. And now when we have selected what we need, all these points, I can click over here, set as object. So when I click on it, you'll see that this object will still stay golden, and these points around it are in this transparent green color. So they are not deleted because they might be needed. These points might be needed to keep the consistency of a scan. They need it for technical reasons, for special reasons of Calibry Nest. But for us, what we're interested in is the final part only. So as you can see, if we now finalize this part, only this part will be finalized. So let's go to the other scan. And it will be a bit more difficult to do here because we have a lot of noise, and especially in the table. So if I select the object, most likely I will pick up some of the noise. It's not really a big deal. So that's actually what I'm going to do. So I can use polygonal tool, but let's use marquee brush just for the difference. Okay, I'm going to select this area. If you're in doubt, it is usually better to select parts of the object as needless rather than parts of the table as needful. So it is better if you cannot discern where the difference between them. As you can see, I'm picking up a little bit of the object. So this is better than picking up a bit of the table and marking them as important. So I now marked what we do not need, and instead of clicking this button, set as object, I'm going to click set as support geometry. And the result will be pretty much the same. We still have the object in the gold. In this case, as you remember, we have quite a bunch of noise that we decided not to filter out. We'll see how this is going to play out. But generally speaking, if you decide to make some of these parts important again, you can always take the brush or a polygonal tool and just select a certain area and just mark it as object once again. And you will see that they sort of become golden once again. But in this case, of course, we don't need these areas. And I'm going to select all this, no matter which tool you're using, and mark them as support geometry, like that. So this data is not deleted, but just marked as unneeded. So this is a priority mode, really big deal. It saves time and helps you to concentrate on the object that you are interested in. Plus, when you have a markup, you can see that this label of a scanner, maybe Calibry or Calibry Mini, it has a golden frame over there. It may be not very clear to see, but it's over there. So we're now ready to go for the next stage, which is finalization.